Of music's biggest showdown as boy bands and girl groups duke it out for the top of the charts.
The Macarena takes on epidemic proportions, spreading to dance floors worldwide.
An elusive criminal on the run for 18 years is finally brought to justice.
And Alanis Morissette serves up a dose of her jagged little pill.
So get out your old Tickle Me Elmo.
And put on your Union Jack tee.
Much more music's gonna take you on a ride back to all the fads and fashions.
To the music and the movies.
Back in 1996.
Pumping through your stereo in 1996.
Time to check out the top. Number 2, Mariah Carey had more than one sweet day with her album Daydream. It quickly became her best-selling album to date.
Mariah is in tip-top pre-meltdown shape here, showing fans her R&B side with Fantasy. She kept it playful with Always Be My Baby. But it was her collaboration with Boyz II Men that made the biggest mark. This song went all the way to number 1 and stayed there for a record-breaking 16 weeks.
Celine and this next Canuck may share the same home country, but that's about it.
At number 1, it's the undisputed queen of 96, Miss Alanis Morissette, with her masterpiece, Jagged Little Pill. It was angry, aggressive, and damn near flawless.
Released in 95, it clinched the number 1 album spot in 96, thanks to a bunch of hit singles, including the raunchy You Oughta Know. Hand in My Pocket. And Ironic.
It was a phenomenal rise to success from You Can't Do That on Television, for sure. And the music itself, I mean, obviously a lot of people connected with it.
Alanis Morissette has been a household name ever since.
It's not as reactive. There's a groundedness to my rage now. I like to think anyway.
Jagged Little Pill goes down in history as one of the 20 best-selling albums of all time.
Here's some other big albums you were dying to get in 96.
Before the market was saturated with countless wannabes, Backstreet Boys made female record buyers swoon with their debut self-titled album. Sweet, sugary pop like I'll Never Break Your Heart.
I'll never break your heart.
And Get Down kick-started their successful career.
Get down and move it all around.
You have young kids that look up to you and admire you, and that was our fan base in the start. That's where it started for us, you know, young kids.
Metallica 91 record dubbed the Black Album. In 1996, that day had come, and every long-haired headbanger rushed to the store to pick up the new album, Load.
Excitement quickly turned to disappointment after seeing their latest video, Until It Sleeps. Where did their hair go? Though not all fans were having the new style and sound, the album was still a big seller.
And a new king of controversy took on iconic proportions in 1996 as Marilyn Manson's Antichrist Superstar flew off the shelves. It wasn't just the goth kids singing along to Beautiful People. Everyday geeks and jocks were right in there with them.
But Manson's devil-may-care attitude wasn't loved by all. Protesters picketed outside his concerts after reports Manson moonlighted as a minister for the Church of Satan.
Spent my life in Christian school.
These next acts had something going for them, but lasting power wasn't it. Here are the one-hit wonders of 1996.
Fresh-faced beauty Nina Persson of Swedish group The Cardigans struck gold with the single Love Fool.
The original European video was too dark and a little weird, so it was reshot and re-released when this song jumped the pond.
With a camera-friendly Nina now front and center, this video helped the song take off. But after Love Fool cooled on the charts, so did The Cardigans' success.
Welsh singer Donna Lewis definitely got the most airtime in '96 with her infectious hit, I Love You, Always Forever.
Featured in the marketing of Windows 95, the lovable single helped Donna's album, Now in a Minute, go platinum. Years later, her smash single topped a poll of the greatest singles of the 90s. And the winner of the most creative one-hit wonder song title goes to Primitive Radio Gods for their massive surprise hit, Standing Outside a Broken Phone Booth with Money in My Hand.
Despite the lengthy title, this was a big hit for the band and frontman Chris O'Connor, who paid the bills as an air traffic controller. Hopefully he kept his day job because any chance at another hit seems to have taken off.
And those were the biggest one-hit wonders of 1996.
I remember Donna Lewis, I Love You Now and Forever.
I like Donna Lewis, I Will Always Love You Forever. I love you, always, forever. Closer together.
I remember Not a Sir Popular.
I remember Love Fool. I actually watched Romeo and Juliet a couple nights ago.
Cardigans I remember well.
I remember the Cardigans, Love Fool.
Love me, say that you love me, to hold me, something, you know.
Let's take a look at the big winners from the 1996 Grammys.
It was a big comeback year of sorts for legendary rocker Eric Clapton. He was back on the charts with Change the World, and the single nabbed both record and song of the year at the Grammys.
Best album was awarded to the mighty Celine Dion, who had quite the year with Falling Into You.
Best new artist went to pint-sized country titan LeAnn Rimes. This little lady was only 13 years old when she shocked country and pop fans alike.
And those were the winners at the 1996 Grammys.
Throughout the show, we'll be counting down the best and the worst videos of 1996. The fifth best video of 96 features a haircut that never goes out of style. It's Beck with Devil's Haircut.
Got a devil's haircut in my mind.
Aside from Beck just being, well, like only the coolest, this fun-filled tour of New York is full of carnivals and parades, all on a lovely sunny day.
They freeze on Beck all through the video, which gives us the impression that Mr. Cool might be up to something. Then suddenly a shocking cliffhanger ending. Who are these spies, and what do they want with Beck?
Keep watching as we continue counting down the best and worst videos of 1996 after the break.
Time for our first trivia question.
Who did not file for bankruptcy in 1996? Was it A, MC Hammer, B, Burt Reynolds, or C, Kim Basinger? We'll get to the answer right after the break.
Keep watching much more music's Back in 1996.
Who did not file for bankruptcy in 1996? Was it A, MC Hammer, B, Burt Reynolds, or C, Kim Basinger? The answer is C, Kim Basinger. Burt Reynolds' divorce from Lonnie Anderson helped push this 70s star into the red, and MC Hammer was over $13 million in debt when he declared bankruptcy in 1996.
Welcome back. We're counting down the 5 best and worst videos of 1996.
At number 5 on our worst list is a song with a dirty double meaning. Can you figure it out? It's Genuine's Pony.
I'm just a dancer. I'm looking for a partner.
A Aside from the non-stop crotch shots of pivoting and gyrating hips, this video just doesn't get us excited the way you'd think a song about riding a pony would. Okay, so you've got the booty and the PIMPs, but not much else. Plus, has anyone noticed anything that has to do with people riding actual ponies? What the?
Keep watching Back in 96 as we continue counting down the best and the worst videos of 1996. Technology and spice made everything nice in 1996. Here are the hottest fashions of the year.
If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my plan.
As the Spice Girl phenomenon took on mammoth proportions in late 96, so did our fascination with British culture, especially its fashion.
Sporting your best fake accent was out, but looking like a Brit was in. Union Jack started popping up on everything: shirts, hats, swimsuits, and of course, unmentionables.
Well, I think that you should be from Britain to wear the Union Jack. Otherwise, it looks a little pretentious, you know?
But like most trends, that came out fast and furious. British fever soon suffered overexposure.
But for a brief moment, you were in with the Brits, like fish and chips, governor.
And there was one fashion accessory you couldn't be caught without: your cell phone.
Oversized cell phones made popular by Zach Morris in Saved by the Bell were a thing of the past. The latest models of 1996 were smaller and cost less than ever before.
I remember when I got my first cell phone, our tour manager came to the studio and he gave us each a cell phone. I was like, wow, this is incredible.
Now, don't go thinking they were anything like today, but at that time, these bulky cell phones were red-hot commodities.
1996, I did have a cell phone. It was huge. I think I lost it somehow.
I think I had to borrow my dad's, and it was a lot bigger than the one I have now.
We don't know how I lost it, because it was like that big.
It's like carrying a big shoebox. I'm waiting for those to make resurgence.
I may or may not have had a Union Jack t-shirt.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody had a Union Jack on their shirt.
I did have a British flag skirt. I had a mini skirt.
Thought I was pretty hot.
Time again to put on your 1996 thinking cap.
What craze did Rosie O'Donnell help create by giving away 200 samples on her talk show in 1996?
Was it A, Beanie Babies, B, Tickle Me Elmo, or C, Tamagotchi?
The answer is B, Tickle Me Elmo. Tickle Me Elmo topped the list of the trendiest goodies of 1996. Here are the top fads of the year.
Tickle Me Elmo is a plush toy of Sesame Street character Elmo. When you squeeze it, the toy shakes and laughs uncontrollably.
There was no denying its popularity. Stores sold out of the giggling guy in seconds, sending parents into fist-flying frenzies. Next up on the wish list, Beanie Babies.
Who knows how it started, but someone got the hint that these lovable toys would be worth something someday, and that was enough to cause mass hysteria.
Tie Inc., the company behind the Beanie Babies, only added to the fury. They began retiring certain series of beanies to further entice collectors. And our final fad gave us line dancing with a Latin flair. Macarena.
I thought it was cute and fun for people. It was something that, wedding bands could play.
Though the song that inspired the dance was actually written in '93, it didn't become a worldwide hit until the summer of '96.
There's a never-ending supply of drunk people at weddings that want to do stupid things.
And it spread like wildfire.
Listen, I'm not an elitist. Never have been. It's not within me. If people have fun with music, good for them.
High school dances, sports events, conventions, you name it, people were dancing it.
Everyone at sporting events got tired of YMCA for a year, so they started doing the Macarena.
But the Macarena didn't have staying power like other dances. By 1997, this trend was done-a-rena.
I had 100 Beanie Babies.
They cost a lot on eBay, and a lot of people made a lot of money on it.
My favorite was the cow and the unicorn, because they were the limited edition ones, and they were very valuable.
I remember in 1996, I was definitely into the Macarena. I remember practicing it in my room by myself for hours.
I did it several times. My girlfriends and I on the bed, blasting it, loving it.
We were forced to do it in school. About 30 of us all lining up in the gym, doing it in front of the school.
Just because I wanted to look cool. I didn't want to mess up. When everybody's going one way, I didn't want to go the other way.
Everybody was doing the Macarena in the streets, for crying out loud.
I actually caught my grandma doing that a few times.
Will they one day be future stars? Only time will tell. Here are the celebrity babies born in 1996.
Queen of Pop, Madonna gave birth to her own pop princess, Lourdes Maria, on October 14, 1996. Daddy is Mom's then personal trainer, Carlos Leon. The two never married, but Lourdes got a baby brother, Rocco, after Mom married director hubby Guy Ritchie.
Blonde bombshell Pamela Anderson gave birth to her first son, Brandon Thomas, on June 6, 1996. Papa is former husband and Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee.
Their mom and I provided them with every instrument on the planet: drums, keyboards, guitars, amps, PA systems, so all their friends could get up and riff it. Nice. So they got all the gear, and so, you know, time will tell.
Let's hope this little guy doesn't take too much life advice from his hard-living daddy.
My oldest boy's 9, and I had sex when I was 13. That's only a few years from now, so we better start talking here soon.
And finally, Antonio Banderas and Melanie Griffith became proud parents to daughter Stella in 1996. The little gal is already following in her parents' footsteps. At 3 years old, Stella made her acting debut in Crazy in Alabama, which her daddy directed.
We've been counting down the best and the worst videos of 1996. And now bringing you the 4th best video of 1996.
Today on Back In, Billy Corgan will be giving you a guided tour of the most magical place on Earth, or wherever the heck this is. Tonight is considered one of the greatest music videos of all time. Scooping several awards in '96, this colorful and inspiring trip through space and under the sea is based on one of the first sci-fi movies, a Pumpkin's favorite, the silent film A Trip to the Moon. They definitely did the original justice by taking the time to handcraft a set and use stop-motion animation.
Keep watching Back in 96 as we continue counting down the 5 best and worst videos of 1996.
Let's take a look at another trivia question.
Which 1996 movie made a heartthrob out of Leonardo DiCaprio?
Was it A, Titanic, B, The Basketball Diaries, or C, Romeo and Juliet?
Think you got it? Find out as we reveal the answer after the break.
Can't get enough of this crazy year? Keep watching Much More Music's Back in 1996 for much, much more.
Back in 96. Before the break, we asked you which 96 movie made a heartthrob out of Leonardo DiCaprio.
Was it A, Titanic, B, The Basketball Diaries, or C, Romeo and Juliet?
The answer? It's C, Romeo and Juliet.
This modernized telling of the classic Shakespeare play co-starred Claire Danes and was directed by Baz Luhrmann.
I am forgetful!
We're counting down the best and worst videos of 1996.
And the number 4 worst video of 96, one of BSB's first, Get Down.
Although the Backstreet Boys are notorious for their video genius, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, this one was especially brilliant. Floating around on a big glowing disco ball, a wannabe rapper floats in out of nowhere.
Come on, girl, and get down. Smack it up, flip it, and move it all around.
And then, AJ, watch out, a group of truly floating girls. Well, I guess that's a yes on the smack it up, flip it, and move it all around.
Keep watching Back in 96 as we'll continue counting down the best and worst videos of 1996. Spy sagas and disaster dramas took in big money at the box office in 1996. Here are the top movies of the year. At number 3, it's the first installment of the massively successful Tom Cruise trilogy based on the TV show Mission Impossible.
You're worried about me.
The film took in over $180 million at the box office.
It's much worse than you think.
Still, over-the-top explosives, throbbing suspense, and crazy gadgets helped Mission Impossible pack theaters in 1996.
Everybody underground now!
Like the high winds of a tornado, Twister caused some major damage at the box office in 1996. Audiences ran to theaters like storm chasers, shelling out just under $250 million to give this the #2 spot of the year. Debris, Justin, we have debris!
While the pockets of the producers got fuller, so did the pockets of the people behind the Dodge Ram. After viewers saw the beating this truck withstood throughout the movie, sales went up 30%. But the crown for the biggest blockbuster of 1996 goes to the alien disaster flick Independence Day.
Starring hot hunk Will Smith and Bill Pullman, moviegoers invaded theaters to see this explosive showdown of man versus aliens.
Just a little anxious to get up there and whoop E.T.'s ass, that's all.
Independence Day racked in over $300 million and crashed into the record books as the highest grossing movie of 1996.
That's what I call a close encounter.
Though these next films weren't your typical blockbuster, here are the movies you were talking about in 1996.
Had us at hello. Jerry Maguire was a hit with fans and critics in 1996 and became another box office success for Tom Cruise that year. Luckily for Cruise, Tom Hanks was originally offered the role but turned it down. Though its tagline said, "Choose life," you chose to go see the breakout UK drug flick Trainspotting.
Choose life. Choose a job. Choose a career.
Starring a very skinny Ewan McGregor, it only took the actor 2 months to achieve his svelte figure by cutting out alcohol and dairy.
What's on the menu this evening, sir?
You know everything because you're a man, and I know nothing because I'm a woman.
You're not a woman.
Oh, you bastard.
And finally, Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, and Hank Azaria had you rolling in the aisles in The Birdcage, a remake of the French gay comedy La Cage aux Folles.
Oh, I could play it straight?
Cable guy! And though it was completely chewed out by critics, it's hard to fault Jim Carrey for agreeing to make the Cable Guy.
I'm here for you!
He was given $20 million for the role, the highest sum given to an actor at that time.
Time for a look at the movies from 96 honored with Academy Awards.
Promise me you'll come back for me.
I promise. I'll come back for you.
Though public opinion wasn't entirely convinced with the English Patient's critical acclaim, the Academy Awards loved it and gave the epic the Best Directing and Best Picture award.
Sorry, can't help you.
Best Actor went to Jeffrey Rush for his role as troubled Australian pianist David Helfgott in Shine.
Win some, lose some, you can't lose them all.
And Best Actress was awarded to Frances McDormand for her lovable role as Margie Gunderson in the quirky Coen Brothers flick Fargo.
Billy Bob Thornton made Hollywood stop and pay attention when he scored the Best Original Screenplay Award for Sling Blade, which he wrote, directed, and starred in.
It ain't got no gas in it.
And those were the Oscar-winning movies of 1996.
Fargo, I can say I saw in this fantastic movie.
Fargo's awesome. Bought that on DVD. Seen it again just about 3 or 4 months ago.
English Patient's a classic. I mean, what do you have to say about that? Shine?
Oh, yes, I remember that. When he was jumping on the trampoline? Yeah, that was beautiful. It probably made me cry.
It's time for a look at the men and women who made you melt in 1996. These are the hunks and babes of the year.
She said, why? Well, I don't know, I'm just a hell of a guy.
By 1996, Will Smith had taken his final bow as the star of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
And if it ain't broke, then don't try to fix it.
It took a giant leap to big-budget leading hunk.
People never notice anything.
He had flirted with films in the past with 6 Degrees of Separation and Bad Boys.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
But in 96, Will proved he was hot enough to carry a movie to the top of the box office. And the ladies happily agreed. Southern boy Matthew McConaughey transformed from sleazy stoner and Dazed and Confused to smoldering hottie in 1996.
I set out to prove a black man could receive a fair trial. That's not the truth.
In A Time to Kill, ladies were left panting with shot after shot showing off a sweaty McConaughey.
I quit now and all this for nothing now.
And with no less than 4 flicks under his belt in 96, moviegoers could frequently check out every bulging muscle on his perfect physique.
Matthew wasn't the only sex pot heating up the set of A Time to Kill. Co-star Sandra Bullock stood strong as a serious babe in 96.
So you'll be getting me on the way up, and I really think, now is a good time to,
Grab. Bullock exuded sexy confidence in her role, and men took notice. And her stunning looks haven't diminished in recent years. She's still a bankable box office babe.
That would be me.
Canadian cutie Neve Campbell sizzled on the small screen and big screen in '96. If you could see past her constant tears, Neve was downright sexy on Party of Five. She made men shriek with delight in the horror movie Scream and played a wickedly hot witch in The Craft.
I take into myself the power to be beautiful.
1996 was definitely Neve's year as the reigning babe from the Great White North.
And those were the hunks and babes of 1996.
Here are the celebrities who kept the tabloids in print as we reveal who got hitched and ditched in 1996.
And when you really, really need it the most, that's when rock and roll dreams come true.
Before this pillow-lipped starlet got together with Brad Pitt and their growing globe-trotting family, a 20-year-old Angelina Jolie made her first attempt at marriage with sexy Brit Johnny Lee Miller.
I win, you wear a dress on our date.
And if I win, so do you.
Miller, known for his role as Sick Boy in Trainspotting, met Jolie on the set of Hackers a year earlier.
Mess with the best, die like the rest.
They raced to the altar in March of '96. She wore black leather pants and wrote Johnny's name across the back of a white blouse in her own blood.
I don't play well with others.
Jack and Meg White's rock and roll myth could never survive in the age of the internet.
They spend way too much time together.
For brothers and sisters. Yeah, that's right.
Though they claim to be brother and sister, the web told a different story with a marriage certificate to prove it.
Everyone knows about it.
Obviously, some people are confused by our presentation at times, and maybe assuming it's like full of gimmicks or something.
And to add one extra twist to this story, Jack took Meg's last name.
Soft hair in a velvet tongue. I wanna give you what you give to me.
John Anthony Gillis married Megan Martha White in September '96. And even after their divorce, these minimalist rockers took the garage revival movement by storm as the White Stripes.
John F. Kennedy Jr. was dubbed American Royalty in People magazine's Sexiest Man Alive, but by '96, his title as the most eligible bachelor came to an end.
He married Calvin Klein publicist Carolyn Bessette on Cumberland Island in Georgia. And like most high-profile relationships, the incredibly attractive duo became the subject of intense media glare.
Carolyn's alleged drug use and an affair with Calvin Klein underwear model Michael Bergen dogged the couple throughout their stormy marriage.
Only a month after ditching first wife Brandy Brandt, Motley Crue bass player Nikki Sixx married his second Playboy playmate, Donna D'Errico, in December of '96. It may have been a long time coming, but the stormy marriage of Prince Charles and Princess Diana finally hit the chopping block in August of '96. Their live-for-TV fairy tale wedding 15 years earlier drew millions of viewers, becoming the most-watched wedding ever.
But the dream marriage ended just a few years later when both the prince and princess engaged in extramarital affairs. Though they separated in '92, it wasn't until '96 that their royal marriage officially ended.
And in less than shocking news of '96, troubled pop star Michael Jackson and wife Lisa Marie Presley ended their often questioned union in January.
It was the king's daughter who slapped the king of pop with divorce papers, citing irreconcilable differences. Their marriage was constantly tested by tabloid scrutiny, forcing the couple to admit, yes, we do have sex.
So just leave me alone.
Others believe the marriage was a scam to shift attention away from his '93 child molestation charges. But as fast as you can say ditched, Michael Jackson got hitched again in '96.
MJ's dermatologist nurse, Debbie Rowe, became wife number 2 that year. And the two had son, Michael Joseph, and daughter, Paris Michael Castle.
We've been counting down the best and the worst videos of 1996. At number 3 on our list of 96's best videos, we have a hilarious comedic spin on a goofy series of Mint commercials.
When I talk about it, carries on, reasons only new.
The Foo Fighters Big Me was all the rage and wrangled quite a few Foo fans by displaying their lighthearted sense of humor.
And don't you wish life were really like this?
But it's you I fell into.
Oh no, this limo cut me off. Should I lose my cool? No, I'll pop a Futos. Ah, calm, cool, and collected. Way to handle that situation. And this video, boys.
Keep watching Back in 96. We'll continue counting down the best and worst videos of 1996. Here's another trivia question.
Which TV daytime talk show ended in 1996?
Was it A, The Phil Donahue Show, B, The Jerry Springer Show, or C, Ricky Lake?
Think you got it? Stay tuned for the answer.
Don't go anywhere. There's still much more to come on Much More Music's Back in 96. 1996 Knowledge.
Which TV daytime talk show ended in 1996?
Was it A, The Phil Donahue Show, B, The Jerry Springer Show, or C, Ricky Lake?
The answer is A, The Phil Donahue Show. And can you believe it? The show ran for an astonishing 26 years.
We've been counting down the top 5 best and worst videos of 1996.
The third worst video of 96 is Celine Dion's It's All Coming Back to Me Now.
It's all coming back, it's all coming back to me now.
Oh, Celine, we're not sure why, but the sole fact that we have to hear you say there were nights of endless pleasure in this song makes us cringe.
There were nights of endless pleasure. It was more than any loss in love.
The gist of this video really sends us over the top, though. Are we to believe that Celine is some kind of princess who only wears nightgowns and lives in a castle that's haunted by some sort of motorcycle riding prince? I guess so.
Consider this your first glimpse of the Vegas and Celine.
What programs couldn't you miss in 96? Here are the top-rated TV shows of the year.
At number 3, it's the ongoing saga of TV's favorite couple, Ross and Rachel on Friends.
And number 2, it's the unforgettable show that brought us the puffy shirt and yada yada yada, Seinfeld.
And at number 1, it's the sexy doctors of ER.
1996 also saw the premiere of 2 shows that are still incredibly popular today.
Political satire got a new iconic platform in 96 with the premiere of The Daily Show. Before comedian Jon Stewart assumed the helm, funny guy Craig Kilborn sat at the phony news desk. By 98, Kilborn was out to host The Late Late Show.
Acid-tongued Judge Judy's court came into session in 96, and fans were immediately drawn to her unruly antics. She belittled the litigants, acted out crazy outbursts, and interrupted her interrupters by blurting out, "I'm speaking."
Always one for interesting quotes, Judge Judy's been known for saying, "Beauty fades, dumb is forever." And that's what you were watching in 1996.
Judge Judy kicks ass.
I grew up on Seinfeld. I loved it.
Kramer. You gotta love Kramer in every scene.
I kind of like Kramer. You can't not. He's too funny. Yeah, I'd have to say Kramer.
Soup Nazi is the best. I love Newman. No soup for you.
Now let's take a look at the Golden Globe winners.
The Golden Globe ceremony that took place in 1996 awarded movies that came out in 95. And as far as the winners go, the Golden Globes were all over the place.
In the drama category, Jane Austen's Sense and Sensibility hit the big screen and came out on top as the big winner, taking home the Golden Globe for Best Picture.
Where is your heart?
For his role as a troubled alcoholic looking to drink himself to death in Leaving Las Vegas, Nicolas Cage picked up a trophy for Best Actor.
Not really.
And Sharon Stone won the Best Actress award after showing off her acting chops as ex-prostitute Ginger in the Martin Scorsese mob flick Casino.
You got the wrong girl.
In the musical or comedy category, the lovable family classic Babe was awarded Best Picture.
Who, me?
John Travolta's career continued on its upswing after winning Best Actor for his role as Chili Palmer in the gangster flick Get Shorty.
Rough business, this movie business.
And Best Actress went to Nicole Kidman. In her role as Suzanne Stone, she played a woman so desperate to become a TV anchorwoman, she stopped at nothing to get it. In Gus Van Sant's black comedy, To Die For.
I don't think I need to tell you that today was a hot one.
And those were the big winners from the 96 ceremony. Back in 1996 remembers the talents we lost that year.
In 1996, we lost legendary triple threat of 40s and 50s American musicals fame, Gene Kelly. He passed away after a stroke at the age of 83 on February 2nd. And legendary jazz singer Ella Fitzgerald died at the age of 79 due to complications with diabetes.
It's what I got. I said, remember that.
Sublime were touted as the next big thing in the California ska punk movement of the 90s. But all their potential unraveled when lead singer Brad Knoll was found dead in May of 96. Brad died of a heroin overdose only days before the band was to release their long-awaited major label debut, which many believe would catapult their career.
But I really want to say I can't define.
For so much promise cut short, he will still be remembered for the great music he left us.
Legendary comic George Burns took his last bow at the tender age of 100 on March 9, 1996. His career spanned vaudeville, movies, radio, and television, with his beloved wife, Gracie Allen, at his side. After his death, he was laid to rest beside his wife with a marker that read, Gracie Allen and George Burns together again.
Counterculture idol Timothy Leary promoted the use of psychedelic drugs, developed a legion of devoted fans, and received the unwanted attention of the FBI. President Nixon called him the most dangerous man in America, but most of the biggest names in Hollywood called Leary their friends. He died of respiratory failure and cardiac arrest at University Medical Center in Las Vegas. Time to get back to counting down the 5 best and worst videos of 1996. At number 2 on our best video list, we have a video known for experimenting with dreamy emotion.
Rows of houses are bearing down on me.
Radiohead's Street Spirit had people mesmerized. Leave it to Radiohead to create an emotional video with the combination of real time and slow motion. The video has a magical mood that meshes perfectly with this mellow tune.
Keep watching Back in 96 as we'll continue counting down the best and worst videos of 1996.
It's time for one more trivia question. Who married himself in 1996?
Was it A, RuPaul, B, Dennis Rodman, or C, Howard Stern?
We'll reveal the answer after the break. 1996.
We asked you before the break.
Who married himself in 1996?
Was it A, RuPaul, B, Dennis Rodman, or C, Howard Stern?
The answer is B, Dennis Rodman.
In 1996, Rodman appeared naked on a motorbike on the cover of his Bad As I Wanna Be autobiography. Inside, he told of his bisexuality, his refusal to perform oral sex on Madonna, and his dislike for many NBA players.
During his book tour, he revealed he was about to marry a beautiful, intelligent woman. The next day, he turned up at a New York bookstore in a horse-drawn carriage, wearing a wedding dress and a wig, claiming he was marrying himself.
Continuing our countdown of the worst videos of 1996. At number 2, a woman who has made her share of bad videos. It's Cher with Walking in Memphis.
Put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane.
Between the featured cross-dressing Elvis worshipping nut
and the several close-ups of Cher in fishnets,
we don't know whether to laugh, cry, or gouge our eyeballs out. We're wondering how many flights to Memphis were canceled. Are you a rat? Well, if you are, 1996 was your year in the Chinese horoscope.
Teen pop stars Mandy Moore and Ashley Simpson are rats. Rats are attentive to their work and can be very clever, but others may distrust their motives. Sorry, Ashley, the hoedown was clever, but don't expect us to trust you ever again.
Sexy starlet Scarlett Johansson and Fleetwood Mac singer Stevie Nicks are rats too. Rats are known to be passionate and attentive and are not afraid of revealing the depths of their feelings.
Don't say that you love me.
In Stevie's case, we're sure the drug abuse of the early days had a hand in this openness. And how funny is this? All of the following ex-presidents are, like we said, rats. Jimmy Carter, George Bush Sr., and the disgraced Richard Nixon.
Time to check out the headline-grabbing news of 1996.
On April 3rd, after an exhaustive 18-year search, Ted Kaczynski, better known as the Unabomber, was arrested at his cabin in Lincoln, Montana.
Kaczynski's years of letter bombing terror resulted in 3 deaths and 29 wounded victims. He was arrested after his brother David positively identified his writing from a manifesto penned by the Unabomber published in major newspapers.
Remember Dolly the sheep, the first mammal successfully cloned from an adult cell? Her shocking birth on July 5th led to worldwide controversy within the medical community and the general public.
But there's one more pop culture twist to this story. Dolly got her name from busty blonde country singer Dolly Parton, because the cell used to create Dolly was taken from a mammary cell.
Punk rock godfathers, the Ramones, played their last concert together on August 6, 1996 at the famous summer music festival, Lollapalooza.
What's the worst they could do to a player? Got me lost in hell to live and die in L.A.
The music industry mourned the death of Tupac Shakur on September 13, 1996, after the rapper was fatally wounded in a drive-by 6 days earlier.
Following a fight with Southside Crips member Orlando Anderson in the lobby of Vegas's MGM Grand, Tupac took off in Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight's car. Minutes later, while the car was stopped at an intersection, Tupac was shot 4 times.
He died of respiratory failure and cardiac arrest at the Las Vegas University Medical Center. And finally, on December 26th, 6-year-old child beauty pageant queen JonBenet Ramsey was found dead in her parents' basement.
Following the murder, JonBenet's parents, John and Patsy Ramsey, became investigators' prime suspects. But no arrests were ever made. Sadly, this case remains unsolved today.
And those were the big events of 1996.
Who was all the rage in 96 and where are they now?
The Fugees heated up the charts in 96 with their album, The Score. Songs like Killing Me Softly and Ready or Not,
Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide.
put members Wyclef Jean, Lauryn Hill, and Pras in high demand that year. But by 1997, they seemed to have vanished.
I'll be gone till November, I'll be gone till November.
While they weren't gone entirely, Wyclef and Lauryn Hill popped up with critically acclaimed and successful solo albums.
Everything is everything. Everything is everything.
And Pras had a hit on the Bullworth soundtrack with Ghetto Superstar. But as far as the Fugees reunion goes, hope was slowly dwindling.
I always hope for another Fuji album, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully it'll be here before my beard turns white.
Excitement began to build when they reunited for Dave Chappelle's Block Party in 2004 and the BET Awards in 2005. Rumor has it the band is back together and making music for a new album.
We've been counting down the best and worst videos of 1996.
The much-anticipated #1 video of 96 had us all scratching our heads in wonderment asking, how'd they do that? Jamiroquai's Virtual Insanity was an incredibly shot video.
And to the surprise of many, not much was done in the effects department to create this masterpiece. They used moving set walls and furniture to create the illusion of the floor moving.
And to top it all off, Jam improvised the entire thing.
My early stuff, I was like a train, you know. When you're going to learn things like that, it was on and on.
This breakthrough video is definitely Jamiroquai's best known, with a slew of nominations and awards behind it.
Well, that that was the best, but what video is the #1 worst?
The absolute worst video of 1996, Come On and Ride It. No, we don't want to. Nobody wants to, and you can't make us ride it. Maybe someone should let the Quad City DJs know that this is not a train. It appears to be some sort of spaceship, maybe even a blimp.
And if they're referring to this conga line as a train, then someone should let them know that people hate that dance.
If only these video extras knew what they signed up for.
Thanks for watching Back in 1996.
Hope we jogged some fond memories for you.
We'll leave you with our #1 worst song of the year.
Once again, it's Quad City DJs, Come On and Ride It.
The Train. See you next